Once upon a time, in a small, cheerful town full of colorful houses and blooming gardens, there lived a little puppy named Buddy. Buddy was a fluffy, golden brown puppy with bright, sparkling eyes and floppy ears that bounced when he ran. His tail wagged so fast that it almost looked like a little fan spinning in the air. Buddy loved to explore, play, and discover new things. Every day was a little adventure, but today felt extra special. Today was the day Buddy was going to the big playground for the very first time. He had heard stories about it from other animals in the neighborhood. The playground had shiny red slides, tall swings that swayed in the breeze, a colorful merry-go-round, a sparkling sandbox, and climbing frames that reached the sky. Buddy could hardly wait to see it all. Buddy woke up early, even before the sun had fully risen. The morning sunlight streamed through the window, making golden patterns on his soft bed. Birds chirped happily, and the scent of fresh flowers filled the air. Buddy stretched his little legs, gave a big yawn, and rolled over with a wiggle of excitement. His tiny heart pounded in anticipation. Mia, Buddy's best friend and kind-hearted little girl, came in to wake him. She had curly hair, sparkling eyes, and a smile that always made Buddy feel safe and happy. She clipped on Buddy's leash and said, "Ready for an adventure, Buddy?" "Woof! Woof!" barked Buddy, jumping up in joy. His tail wagged so fast it almost lifted him off the ground. He pranced around, bouncing on his little paws, unable to contain his excitement. Mia laughed at him, shaking her head. All right, let's go." As they walked to the playground, Buddy's senses were alive with wonder. He sniffed the fresh morning air, picking up scents of flowers, grass, and even the faint aroma of freshly baked bread from the nearby bakery. A butterfly with rainbow colo. Red wings fluttered by, and Buddy leapt in surprise, almost tripping over his paws. He barked happily as the butterfly danced away, his little tail wagging in delight. Buddy's imagination ran wild. I wonder what the slides will feel like. Will there be other puppies to play with? Maybe a sandbox full of treasure. And swings! I love swinging in the air. Buddy's excitement grew with every step. Along the way, friendly neighbors waved at them. The local gray cat, Whiskers, flicked her tail at Buddy curiously. Birds perched on tree branches chirped cheerful greetings. Even the squirrels paused to peek at Buddy as he trotted past, his tiny paws moving quickly over the path. Finally, they arrived at the playground. Buddy's eyes grew wide with amazement. From a distance, it looked magical. The slides gleamed in the sunlight, the swings swayed gently, the merry-go-round twirled with colorful seats, and the sandbox sparkled invitingly. There were climbing frames and a little tunnel that promised hidden adventures. Buddy barked joyfully, tugging gently at his leash. Mia laughed. "Patience, Buddy. Let's see everything slowly." But Buddy's tail wagged so fast, it almost seemed to paint invisible lines in the air. His ears perked up as he listened to the laughter of children playing, the swoosh of swings moving, and the gentle clink of the merry-go-round turning. Buddy took a deep breath, feeling the soft breeze ruffle his fur. Today would be a day full of fun, friendship, and adventure, the kind of day that puppies dream about. "Woof! Let's play!" Buddy barked happily, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Buddy's little paws couldn't stop moving as he approached the playground. His eyes grew wide with amazement, and his tail wagged so quickly it looked like a tiny broom sweeping the air. The playground was even more wonderful than he had imagined. There were tall, shiny red slides that sparkled in the sunlight, swings that danced with the wind, a merry-go-round spinning in rainbow colors, climbing frames that looked like tiny castles, and a sandbox that glittered like golden sand. It was a magical place made for fun. Mia knelt down beside him and smiled. Look at all of this, Buddy. Which one should we try first? Buddy barked excitedly and pranced toward the slides. But before he could reach them, he noticed something that made him pause. Other animals were exploring the playground too. A fluffy white bunny hopped near the flowers, twitching its little nose as it sniffed the air. A playful kitten chased a ball of yarn near the swings, and two tiny birds chirped happily as they flitted from one branch to another. The playground wasn't just a magical place for children, it was a fun wonderland for animals, too. Buddy wagged his tail and barked softly, as if saying, "Hello, friends, can we play together?" The bunny twitched its ears, the kitten purred, and the birds chirped a cheerful reply. Buddy's little heart filled with happiness. This was going to be even more fun than he had imagined, because he would not only play on the swings and slides, but also make new friends. He sniffed the ground and the air, taking in all the new scents: fresh grass, the soft smell of flowers, the faint aroma of cookies from a nearby bakery, and even the earthy scent of the sandbox. Every smell told a story, and Buddy wanted to explore each one. He trotted over to the swings, his little paws kicking up tiny clouds of dust, and looked at them curiously. The seats swayed gently in the breeze, inviting him to come closer. Nearby, the merry-go-round spun slowly. Its bright colors and playful shapes seemed to twinkle in the sunlight. Buddy tilted his head, imagining what it would feel like to spin around and around. He barked in delight and pranced toward it, his floppy ears bouncing with every step. Mia laughed. Patience, Buddy. There's so much to explore. Let's take it one thing at a time. Buddy nodded, or at least he tried to, though he couldn't stop wagging his tail. He sniffed the sandbox and pawed at the soft golden sand, imagining hidden treasures buried beneath. He could already picture digging little tunnels and finding tiny treasures that only a puppy's imagination could see. Suddenly, a gentle breeze ruffled Buddy's fur, carrying the cheerful laughter of children playing on the slides and swings. The sound made Buddy bark happily. He felt like the entire playground was alive, as if it were inviting him to come and play. Buddy's little paws tapped the ground impatiently. He wanted to explore everything at once, but he remembered Mia's voice. "One step at a time, Buddy." So he took a deep breath, sniffed the air one more time, and prepared to start his first adventure in the magical playground. With a joyful bark and a happy wiggle, Buddy trotted toward the first slide. His ears flopped with every bounce, his tail wagged like a little flag, and his eyes sparkled with excitement. Today was the beginning of a day full of fun, laughter, friendship, and new discoveries. Buddy could feel it in every tiny paw and in every joyful bark. The playground was waiting, and Buddy was ready to explore it all, one magical adventure at a time. Buddy's eyes sparkled as he looked up at the tallest slide but in the playground. It was shiny and red, stretching high into the sky like a tower of fun. The slide looked a little scary, but it also looked so exciting. Buddy's little tail wagged uncontrollably, his floppy ears bouncing with every excited wiggle. He imagined zooming down the slide and feeling the wind rush through his fur. Mia noticed Buddy staring at the slide. "Do you want to try it, Buddy?" she asked with a gentle smile. Buddy let out a happy bark, his way of saying, "Yes, I'm ready." He bounced on his paws, looking up at the steps that led to the top. With a determined wiggle of his little tail, Buddy placed his tiny paws on the first step. One by one, he climbed the ladder. Each step made a soft jingling sound from his collar's little bell. Step after step, he climbed higher and higher, ears flopping, tail wagging, and eyes wide with excitement. Below, the fluffy white bunny twitched its nose and hopped in encouragement. The playful kitten purred and pawed the ground excitedly. Even the little birds chirped in a cheerful song, as if cheering Buddy on. Buddy felt a warm glow in his chest. Climbing the ladder wasn't scary when he had friends watching him and supporting him with their tiny encouragements. Finally, Buddy reached the top. He sat down at the very beginning of the slide, his little paws gripping the edge. He looked down. The slide seemed so big. His ears flopped nervously, and he felt a tiny shiver of worry. But then he remembered something Mia always told him. "Brave puppies try new things, Buddy." With a deep breath, Buddy barked softly, "Woof! Here I go." And with a little wiggle of his bottom, he pushed himself forward. Whoosh! Down he went, sliding faster and faster, ears flying in the wind. The sunlight sparkled on his fur as he zoomed down, and Buddy felt a giggling thrill bubble inside him. Whee! He barked joyfully, landing softly on the grass at the bottom. He rolled over once, then shook his body, fluff flying everywhere. The bunny hopped closer, twitched its ears, and seemed to cheer, while the kitten pawed at the edge of the slide with curiosity. The little birds flitted above, chirping happily as Buddy pranced around, tail wagging like a little flag. He had done it! Buddy had slid down the tallest slide, and it felt amazing. Buddy trotted back to the ladder for another try. Each time he climbed out, he felt braver and more confident. Sometimes he slid down on his belly, sometimes on his back, and once he even tried a little spin at the end, which made Mia laugh so hard that she nearly fell onto the grass. Between slides, Buddy explored the area around the big slide, sniffing the grass, chasing tiny butterflies, and rolling in the sunshine. Every jump, every wiggle, every playful bark made the playground feel even more magical. Buddy realized that the best part wasn't just sliding, it was sharing the fun with his new friends and feeling the happiness of being brave. Finally, after several spins and giggles, Buddy flopped down on the soft grass near Mia, panting happily. His ears flopped over his eyes, tail still wagging slowly, and a joyful sparkle filled his eyes. Buddy knew this was only the beginning of his playground adventure. The swings, merry-go-round, and sandbox were all waiting for him, and he couldn't wait to explore them next. "Good job, Buddy," Mia said, giving him a gentle pat. "You were so brave." Buddy barked softly, his tiny heart full of excitement. Today, the slide had taught him that trying new things could be fun and magical, especially when he had friends by his side. After Buddy's thrilling slide adventure, he trotted over to the merry-go-round, his little paws patting the soft grass with excitement. The merry-go-round was round and colorful, with seats shaped like tiny animals. A horse, a carrot, a fish, and even a little frog. The sunlight sparkled on the spinning seats, making the entire ride look magical. Buddy tilted his head in curiosity. How would it feel to spin around and around? He couldn't wait to find out. Mia knelt down beside him and whispered with a giggle, "Do you want to try it, Buddy?" Buddy barked happily, his tail wagging like a little flag. He jumped onto the seat shaped like a horse, careful not to slip. The fluffy white bunny hopped onto the seat shaped like a carrot, while the playful kitten curled up comfortably on the seat shaped like a fish. Buddy's little friends were joining in the fun. Mia gave the merry-go-round a gentle push, and it began to spin slowly. "Round and round we go," she sang, her voice filled with laughter. Buddy felt the wind ruffle his fur as the ride spun faster and faster. His floppy ears flapped in the breeze, and his tiny paws gripped the seat with glee. The bunny twitched its ears in excitement, the kitten purred and bounced gently with the spinning, and the little birds above flapped their wings, flying in joyful circles. Buddy barked happily, "Woof! Wee!" His little heart felt light and joyful, and he couldn't stop wagging his tail. The merry-go-round spun like magic, carrying Buddy and his friends in a playful dance. As they went round and round, Buddy imagined he was flying through the clouds. He could see the slides from above, the swings swinging back and forth, and the sandbox sparkling like golden treasure. Everything looked so bright and colorful from the top of the merry-go-round. He barked again, full of excitement, as if telling the playground, "This is so much fun." Mia gave the ride another gentle push, and Buddy felt the thrilling rush of spinning even faster. The wind tickled his nose, and the sunlight danced on his fur like tiny golden stars. Buddy's imagination soared. He pretended he was on a magical flying horse. The bunny was a brave carrot adventurer, and the kitten was a tiny sea captain sailing the waves of a colorful ocean. After a few spins, the merry-go-round began to slow down. Buddy hopped off carefully, shaking the wind out of his fur and wagging his tail in pure delight. The bunny twitched its ears, the kitten meowed happily, and even the little birds chirped a cheerful song. Buddy felt proud of his merry-go-round adventure. He had laughed, spun, and played with friends, and the feeling of joy made his little heart swell with happiness. Buddy trotted around the playground, sniffing the grass and exploring the area near the merry-go-round. He pawed at the soft ground, chased a playful butterfly, and barked at a tiny leaf that floated by. Every little sound and movement made the playground feel alive, and Buddy's tail wagged like a little flag of excitement and joy. Mia called to him softly, "Buddy, let's see what other fun things we can find." Buddy barked in agreement, his ears flopping with every wag of his tail. He had already discovered the thrill of the slide and the fun of the merry-go-round. But there was still so much to explore. The swings, the sandbox, and who knew what other surprises awaited him in this magical playground. Buddy felt happy, brave, and full of curiosity. Today was a day of laughter, friendship, and magical adventures, and he couldn't wait to see what the next part of the playground had in store for him. After so much excitement, Buddy trotted over to the soft golden sandbox, his tail wagging happily. The sandbox sparkled in the afternoon sunlight, and little piles of sand made perfect little hills for digging and exploring. Buddy pawed at the sand gently, imagining that he was on a grand treasure hunt. Mia sat nearby, smiling, and clapped her hands softly. "Time for a little rest, Buddy, and maybe a yummy treat." Buddy's little ears perked up at the word treat. Mia reached into her bag and pulled out a small snack, a crunchy little biscuit shaped like a bone just for Buddy. She also had a sweet carrot for the bunny and a tiny fish-shaped treat for the playful kitten. Buddy barked happily and wagged his tail as Mia handed him the treat. He nibbled it gently, feeling the soft crunch of the biscuit on his teeth. Yum! The bunny nibbled its carrot, twitching its nose in delight, and the kitten purred contentedly while munching on its little fish treat. The birds chirped above, as if singing a cheerful song just for them. Buddy felt warm and happy inside. Today had been a day full of fun, laughter, and wonderful new friends. And now it was the perfect time to relax and enjoy a little snack together. After their treats, Buddy lay down on the soft grass next to Mia, his ears flopping over his eyes and his tail wagging slowly. He watched the playground around him, the slides that sparkled in the sunlight, the merry-go-round slowly spinning even without anyone on it, the swings swaying gently in the soft afternoon breeze, and the sandbox sparkling like golden treasure. Buddy felt like he was surrounded by magic, laughter, and friendship. Mia gently patted Buddy's head. "Did you have fun today, little explorer?" she whispered. Buddy let out a soft, happy bark and nuzzled her hand. He had learned so much today. How fun it was to try new things, how exciting it could be to spin and slide, and how wonderful it felt to share adventures with friends. The sun began to set, painting the sky with soft shades of orange, pink, and gold. Buddy watched the colors stretch across the sky, imagining that the playground was glowing with a warm, magical light just for him and his friends. The birds flew toward the treetops, chirping their good night songs, while the bunny hopped quietly near its favorite flower patch, and the kitten curled up on a soft patch of grass. Buddy yawned, curling up in a cozy little ball next to Mia. His tiny paws twitched in dreams, and his tail gave a gentle wag as he imagined sliding down the slides again, spinning on the merry-go-round, and chasing butterflies with his new friends. The playground had been a place of adventure, laughter, and discovery, and now it would live on in Buddy's dreams, where every moment was full of joy and magic. Mia wrapped a soft blanket around Buddy and whispered, "Good night, little puppy. Sweet dreams of fun and friendship." Buddy let out a tiny sigh of contentment, closing his eyes. He felt safe, happy, and loved. And so, the little puppy's playground fun came to a gentle end. But in his dreams, Buddy continued to explore, slide, spin, and laugh with his friends forever. The playground had given him not just fun, but memories that would make him wag his tail for days to come,